we are glad you're here, whether it's here in person or online. It's a good day to be together. I'm missing my wife because she's in Boston. She took a bunch of students to Boston over the last week, and they're supposed to fly out today. But there's as they call it there, the nor'eastern whacking Boston with snow and ice, and so we'll see. She's supposed to fly out at 2:00. I'm hoping she's in Abilene this evening. It's great to be here with you, though. Man, it is good to be with you, and I love you guys. And the source of the sermon comes really, a lot of it, from my relationship with you. We're starting a series on Romans 8, just Romans 8. And it'll last for the next 3 years. And it was going to begin today, but this thought just kept bubbling up in me that I wanted something else. I needed to say something else first. And it's about gratitude. And it got me to reading some things I don't normally read, like psychiatrist articles in magazines. And I'm like, what am I doing? But one thing led to another. And it made some points that really resonated with me. And I'm going to talk about gratitude being a condition of the heart. And I'm going to separate the two words, which is almost impossible to do, the two words gratitude and thankfulness. How they're the same, but not exactly. And as I read through some of these writings, it began to take hold of me and make sense that they're very similar and often used as synonyms, but there might be just a slight difference that would make a difference in our understanding and really maybe improve and strengthen our gratitude. So here we go. It starts with this quote. Gratitude is a general appreciation of life, while thankfulness is a response to a particular event or experience. So it's like I look at life and I'm grateful for everything in life, gratitude. The fact that someone opened the door for me and I say thank you to them, that's an event. They did the thing. But deeper inside, I have an attitude of gratitude, and I just really didn't want to say that. As a matter of fact, it sort of snuck out. I didn't mean to say it then, but that's kind of it. It's even for me, it's a little on the cheesy side. But another quote in the same article, actually, you don't need something good to happen to have gratitude. And when bad things happen, your gratitude doesn't falter. I want to go back to the thankfulness and gratitude quote, and I'm going to try a metaphor on you that sort of just began to build and build and build in me of, was it like this or is it like that? It's like this. I want you to think of gratitude is like a muscle, and thankfulness is like exercise. Okay? So for instance, gratitude is like the muscle, and it allows me to pick up this chair, which is thankfulness. You see what I mean? Thankfulness is the action that's based on really the attitude. Okay, you with me? And it's going to make a difference maybe in a minute, maybe not. And right now, I'm working on lot speech because, he's my best, am I making sense? Okay. No, he doesn't. He's perfect. I could not do this without him. And so here's a saying that we often will use Are you a person who sees the glass half full or half empty? Well, I want to say gratitude. Yes, that's it. The answer is yes. Gratitude says both are good. Both are good. And the reason is both are good is that you see the half full and you see your blessings. You see things that are happening good. They're on track. Things are right, half full. But there's half empty, which means there's more for me to do. There's an opportunity. There's a challenge. In the half empty person, there's a challenge. Now, they can be whiny and complainers. And for that, if you were in the Old Testament, God would take you out and just shoot you. Well, he did have a gun, but he would eliminate you somehow, because whiners and complainers is not the same as gratitude. But gratitude sees a half empty glass as an opportunity to make it better. Okay, so we're going to jump off of that. I would say this also, gratitude. It's not just optimism and pessimism. It's reality. The glass is not always full. It's not always empty. And when you have gratitude, this is what Paul said in Philippians. He said, I've learned the secret of being content. And what is that? I have in plenty and in want. If I have a lot, half full. If I have none, half empty. And the secret is being thankful to God. Being thankful to God. And so the verse in 1 Thessalonians is always, in all circumstances, give thanks. Now, remember, thanks is your action that comes from the heart of attitude, of gratitude. The attitude of gratitude comes from the gracious, the heart that's gracious, the heart that is full of gratitude. Then what happens is you get this action of thankfulness. Okay, we're going to see how those tie together a little bit more too. Gratitude also is this. Gratitude protects us from these two problems, worry and pride. Okay, and here's how that happens. It protects us from worry in hard times. Because even in hard times, we're grateful. And this is what all those songs we sang today, that's the jumping off. Like, why are we grateful in hard times? Because we have hope. Because we know God's made promises to us that He's going to fulfill. We can be grateful even in hard times and not worry. Worry is how we combat worry with gratitude. I'm thankful. Things are hard right now. What I know is God is with me. So you find where is the grateful opportunity to give thanks? Thank you, God, you're with me in this hard time. The other thing it gives protection from is pride. Because when things are great, what we're tempted to do is say, look what I've done. Look how good we're doing. Isn't this great? You're awesome and I'm awesome and we're all great. But instead, gratitude knows, well, we're going to give the thanks to God. We're going to say we've done this by the grace of God. And yet we will also thank each other and build each other and lift each other up, but always in mind, the foundation of good works is God's grace and love and power and strength and wisdom. He gives us these things, and I'm so glad you're here and that you're putting these things to use. That's why I think about the 5 of you in the back and the 2 that are somewhere else. So we have a 7-person band represented by 5. But God has blessed them. So I thank Him every moment. Even when I'm not around you, I have this man, I'm so thankful for you because of what God has given you and then what you've done to put it to use. You got skills that I don't have, and you've given over to God, and it's just great to worship here. And I thank you for that. And but I'm thankful not so you can boast, but that we'll all praise God together. And so this is the thing about this in all circumstances, good, bad, ugly. So one of the things about the muscle and the action, okay? So I said the muscle is gratitude, and doing something with, look at that. Woo-hoo. That's thankfulness, okay? And so one of the things you do, what you want to build up is your muscle. You want to have a strong muscle, strong gratitude, so that you're able to be thankful in all circumstances. You with me? I'm strong in my gratitude, my heart condition. It's strong so that I express that by thankfulness, by being thankful. Now, then the other thing is, when you do the exercise, what does it do to the muscle? Makes the muscle stronger. So the more thankful you are, the stronger your gratitude base begins to grow. And it becomes more natural for you to respond to good things and bad things with gratitude, not whininess, not doubt, but like it's just so normal that when something happens around me, my attitude is going to cause a action of thankfulness. And so one of the things that we need to do is build up our muscles, gratitude, so that we'll be more thankful. Yeah, right? Okay, so here's some suggestions, and there was about 40 of them, but I just picked out a few. So here we go. Gratitude building exercises. It's like you've come to the gym today, kids, and here we are starting the new year with a new workout program. Boom, here we go. It's to build up our gratitude, and first is to begin each day by recognizing it's a gift. I don't know how you are in the morning. I don't know if you wake up happy or grumpy. Both types of people can be annoying to me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people are too happy in the morning. Sometimes you just need to kind of go into it. But in your own personal self, realize it's a gift. Today's a gift. God's given me today. He's given me today. Second thing, these are a couple of different things. Begin a gratitude journal. And I kind of shrink at the word journal because I don't journal well. But if you're a journaler, this is the thing. If you're not, just don't worry about it. I'm a walker, though. I do walk. And sometimes my brain goes all over the place when I walk. But I find when I get into this thankfulness and I just start noticing things on the walk. Now, if I'm on the treadmill, I don't notice that much. And if I'm watching a TV on a treadmill, it's even worse. It's hard to sometimes be thankful when you're watching the news. So, whatever. So be careful, little eyes, what you see. Ears, what you hear. Don't watch the news. But to walk, and especially if it's outdoors, and again, if you're not a walker, hey, scratch that one out too. The other one is, for me, is using symbols. And what I mean by symbols, for me, I do this on an everyday basis. I make up the bed. And I am so thankful for my bed. And I'm thankful when I start being thankful for my bed, it reminds me to be thankful that I have either air conditioning or heating, whichever the season calls for. And I'm glad for a roof, and I'm glad for a refrigerator that actually has some food in it. And then in my situation, I'm also thankful for the one who sleeps next to me in my bed. So it's a great way to wake up. And it gets the bed made as well. But it's this symbol. And sometimes you may have something else. I have some things that belonged to my grandparents, and they're sitting around my house, and I see them, and immediately it sparks when I see this thing. One is a coffee grinder, old wooden coffee grinder, and I see it, and I remember drinking coffee with my grandmother, my dad's mom, and it makes me thankful. So I use symbols sometimes. And here's another, to use words of gratitude often. So for instance, words of gratitude would be like, thank you. Duh. But sometimes, you can say thank you to some people and they act like they're surprised, but they're happy. Like, I didn't know I'd earned a thank you there, but yeah, thank you. And then maybe to go along with that would be the opposite. You're welcome if someone thanks you for something, and do it with in a way where, especially if you can, eye contact. That's cool. That's good. Another would be like, good job. That's a good job. Say good job, or I appreciate that. And you can think of your own words of gratitude, but try and work them in. Sometimes I like to say, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I was going to say some things about phone etiquette, but just be thankful. The other is this letters of gratitude, that you would write someone a note or a letter, not for some special thing necessarily, but just because you're thankful for them as a person. Already, I'm going to do it. And I've said this in my mind many times, but I'm going to write Betty a note. You know why? What a song. What a great song. She was with us today. Even though she wasn't, she was. And we were thankful for Betty today, right? Because of the song that she gave us. And so writing letters, one time a guy called me and he said, I'm making phone calls to people who have influence. And I hadn't seen this guy in 15 years who are influence on my life. And he wanted to tell me some specific things like 15 years ago that I had done. And so I thought, that's pretty cool. So I did that a few times, and it turned out that the people I started doing it to began to die. And so I thought, I better call some younger people. That's what I needed to do. But it was like, for instance, one of them was Lynn Anderson. And man, the call came out of nowhere in terms of as he picked it up. But it was awesome to call Lynn Anderson. And I'm really glad I did that. Just give him a call out of the blue. Thank you. I thank you. Now, what this is doing, while it might be encouraging to these other people, what it's doing is building your gratitude muscle. So you begin to look at everything from a place, of gratitude, a heart of gratitude, okay? And so then another one is just to be thankful for small things. I was thankful today. Sometimes I'm thankful for things when, like, this is a half empty thanks. I'm very thankful for, and I've never said it to anybody, but I'm thankful for the water bottles we have in the refrigerator back there. And today we don't have any. But so I'm thankful for the water bottles, absent as they are. But I'm also thankful for the cup and Leanne, my water partner. So, thankful for the small things. Mm-hmm. Water. Yeah. And finally, the big thing, remember, Jesus died for you. How can you thank him for that? Just the way to do it is often that's the way to do it. And you know, we take communion and we really think about that on this moment in time. But what are there other things that you could do daily, often in the day, that Jesus, he reconciled me to God. Now I was a lost son, and now I'm a found son. He's given me path to live. There's so much Jesus has done for me. I want to be thankful. And in the thankfulness, I'm building my gratitude muscle. So Paul says it like this in Philippians. He says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy. Yeah, y'all know that. Think on these things. As if we could direct our thoughts. Well, you know what? The Bible pretty much is written saying you can direct your thoughts. And so direct your thoughts. Boom. Right there. And what I think you'll find is that gratitude will fuel, your gratitude's building, and your gratitude will fuel other things, like as Sally talked about in the offering prayer today, or thoughts about that, our generosity. A heart of gratitude is generous. And the more gratitude muscles you build, the more often it just becomes your nature to be generous. Look what I've been given. I'm so thankful for what God has done. Can I share it with you? This is a sort of a natural process. And it also feels like joy and peace and hope. Joy for the half full, hope for the half empty. And love. And mostly love. One of the things that you need to do, and I need to do, and you've done it and I've done it, is sometimes you're physically in a certain place, but you're not really present. You know, been there, done that? Yep, we have. You about got it. God's greatest gift to us is his presence. And he's never in that daydream kind of way that we often are with each other. He's there. I saw this. So presence, God's presence and your presence are important. This last weekend or sometime during the week, I can't even remember what day it was. Do you remember, Sally? My son, Jason, who lives in Leander, who rarely comes to Abilene, he, his wife, and his two kids. One's a senior in high school and one's a sophomore in high school. And Dad can tell stories back to back to back, the same story, you know what I'm saying? Like in the last 10 minutes, tell the same story. And sometimes he wanders off, and sometimes his words don't make sense. And he had had a bad night that night. They were going to come over to his house. So he had called me actually at 2:00 in the morning. I didn't get that call. So the one he called me at 5:30, I did. And he was not doing well. So I went right over, and he wasn't doing well. And I told him the kids may come over. And he said, I'm not sure that would be good. I said, I'll tell you what, 2 hours, I'll call you back. I'll come over and see how you're doing. At 2 hours later, he was up, dressed, scurrying around the kitchen, feeling okay. So they came. And we sat in a little circle. Jason sat on one side of Dad, and Sarah sat on the other side. His two daughters and I were pulled up in little chairs that roll, and we were just in this little tight circle. And Dad began to tell stories. And he told stories for between 45 minutes and an hour. Solid. Boom, 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 boom. Stories of the past. And my two granddaughters were like laser focused. Like if they didn't hear something, they were going to die. And they would laugh when he was sort of funny. And they would nod. They were present. Even in some of the goofiest tales, they were present. And it made such a difference to him. I mean, you could see him gaining strength moment by moment based on their presence. I wonder if God would be like that with us. He's here with us. And as we engage, God starts getting, yeah, they're with me now. These lyrics of these songs, they're really listening to them for once. They're really into it. They're listening to the sermon. Woo. Oh, y'all are great at that. But they're really engaged with me. This is God speaking to us. And as we engage with him, his engagement, joy because he was engaged. Now, expect trouble. There's going to be trouble for all of this. And just what Jesus told his disciples, right? In this world, you're going to have trouble. So we should expect trouble. And sometimes we're the trouble. Sometimes my attitude comes in not so much of gratitude, but I'm grumpy or I'm distracted or whatever. And our world is in chaos. And so we're going to have trouble. The glass is always going to be half empty. But what's that about? What's that for? That's for us to take our and do something about the half empty glass. Maybe we're what's fill it up. But here's what he also said, to expect his presence. He said, in this world, you're going to have trouble, but be of good cheer because I've overcome the world and I'm with you. So one of the ways also I do this, one of the strength building exercises is the songs we sing. And some of you are more into songs than others. And if you're not, I suggest you find an alternative. Like for me, and often I do this, I'll write some poems. Yeah. You got a couple of choices. I'm going to make you choose one. You can sing the song and mean it, or I'm going to make you stay after school and write a poem. But really what we have is so many good songs whose lyrics lead us into gratitude. And, I love to hear Mary Beth sing, but I also love to hear Sally sing. I do. And sometimes she's kind of quiet because a little lack of confidence. Somebody probably told her something when she was young that was not true. Oh, by the way, one of the stories my dad told 3 times in that 45-minute period was the time when Sally quit being his student because he was going to teach her how to fly an airplane. And she quit because he was mean to her. She told that story 3 times. Anyway, back to singing. It's not how loud you sing. It's what's going on right here. And the songs we sung today already have done that. So will this one. After we sing it, I'll have a closing thought. Have a seat just a moment. Have an announcement to make about the upcoming series we're going to begin next week. It's going to be about Romans 8. Just Romans 8. We'll start at the beginning and we'll finish at the end. And like I said, we'll see how it goes. One of the things Sally and I and our family started watching Casablanca, the movie, in 1980 on New Year's Eve. And we've watched it ever since then on New Year's Eve, or right a day, sometimes right around New Year's Eve. Sometimes we didn't make it right on the day. And so Sally and Casey came over, and I came over, and Elizabeth came, and Casey is probably the most faithful watcher of the movie of all the kids. And but we're all watching this movie, and some people are even in different towns of our family are watching this movie. And as we went through it this time, Dad's not very good at following stories these days, but he can do this one because 50 times, over and over and over. Boom. So as we're watching it, we're all, this is annoying, I know, but we're all just saying the quote right as it happens. And Sally or Casey Woodham said, yeah, I didn't realize this whole movie is just a bunch of famous quotes put back to back to back, right? Yeah. That's Romans 8. Hey, it's going to be good, I believe. And so we're going to start out next week. And you know how we did 2 Corinthians kind of one by one, and then every once in a while we'd go farther. Next week will kind of be a little bit of a background on the whole book of Romans and the reason why Romans 8 was written to them then, but also give some insight to how it might be written for us right now, 2024, January. We need this today. So that's it. In the meantime, go practice, go exercise your gratitude muscle, and be thankful. Yeah. Great to be with you. See you next week.